Golly Zilla. Heineken. Fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Well, Caleb, happy Friday. It's Friday again. It's totally Friday. I don't pre-record these the day before, obviously. But, being as that it's that time of the week again, sounds bad. As soon as it's, the weekly vlog style update video to let you know where I'm at with our monthly video challenge, I am a bit behind still. I had an idea that I was pretty sure was workable and that I was going to shoot today, and that I did not. A little bit of hardware weirdness lately. I think I mentioned it before that I'm recording on my Leica Leica SL2S, no SL3. We don't like the SL3. It's a Leica 2S, but it's going into an Atomos Ninja, which allows me to record in ProRes RAW, which I really love. The look of ProRes RAW out of the Leica SL2S is just beautiful. Leica takes a slightly quirky approach, which no surprise there for anybody familiar with Leica. They just cut a 4K section out of the middle of the sensor that's roughly Super 35 sized, and they call it Cinema 4K, although it is larger than Cinema 4K, which Cinema 4K is a 17:9 ratio, slightly wider. Size of a frame, it's like 4096 by 2160. So Leica, of course, does like 41 something by 21 something extra. So it's larger, right? So what I do recently is I just pop it into Resolve, which the other thing I'm really loving about this whole setup is Resolve now actually recognizes ProRes RAW, which is, I can't believe it took this long, but here we are. Can't complain now. So we got ProRes RAW in Resolve, recorded beautifully on this setup through my Leica 35mm Summilux TL lens, because since the camera itself is cropping into Super 35, our crop sensor APS-C lenses are absolutely gorgeous, and the Leica Summilux TL35 is one of their most phenomenal lenses, in my opinion. It is just a gorgeous lens. Small, compact, relatively speaking. If you've ever used SL lenses or seen SL lenses, they are gigantic and heavy, but the TL is about the perfect size. The Summilux TL. Boy, I'm rambling now. But anyway, all this is to say that got a real quirky setup, right? A real kind of a head scratcher of a camera when we're living in this day and age where there's just absolutely a phenomenal number of RAW capable cameras or high-end, hybrid cameras out there. Why would somebody be using a now older Leica with a quirky lens setup and a quirky RAW setup? And I don't know how to explain it. You know me, I'm just a guy that likes to make things as convoluted as possible. But anyway, all that is to say that hopefully some of that gorgeousness that I'm really enjoying looking at on my 6K display here while I'm editing it and color grading it, hopefully some of that translates up to YouTube. I know that the last two videos I've uploaded, which I've meticulously color managed and gone through the whole 4K pipeline in Resolve in beautiful HDR, uploaded HDR files with all the proper HDR metadata, HDR10 metadata, all the proper file tags up to YouTube, and then YouTube goes, who gives a shit, and just displays it as Rec 709. So I don't know what to do about that. I pull my hair out. Before we started this whole project, I did a bunch of tests to make sure that the HDR was working great. You know, my little test video that I'd uploaded, did a couple different configurations of compression and HDR formats, whether it wanted HLG or PQ, you know, all this stuff. And I got it, you know, working fine. Test video shows up, Rec 2020 HDR, awesome. Upload the actual videos, exact same codecs, exact same tags, exact same formats, and nothing. Just improperly displayed as Rec 709. Screw it. Like, I don't know what to do. So the question was, you know, do I just keep on uploading HDR and then letting YouTube molest it, or just grade in 709? And I tried that. You know, I did a test grade in 709 on my system here, and I just can't stand it. It looks like ass. I hate it. The gamut compression just is disgusting after you're recording raw and you see what the potential there was. You know, the 12-bit raw, ProRes raw, some people argue is not real raw. Well, I've got my Sigma FP, which records fully uncompressed 12-bit raw. I've compared both. They compare excellently. ProRes raw is just as raw as anything these days. And yeah, the potential, the color gamut, the HDR, it's just gorgeous. And then you try to put it down to 709 and it just looks so bad that I just said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I like. I'm gonna make it look how I want it to look as best as I can on my end. Upload it to YouTube, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I don't know what to do about that. YouTube sucks, but hey, it's a free service, and we all get to enjoy all this, you know, endless stream of garbage and some good stuff every once in a while. But enough of that rant. Speaking of good stuff, one of the really good stuff that I saw this week was this little video you uploaded called Got Coffee, which I thought was really good. Only 3 shots. I thought that was a really interesting exercise. You know, I thought about that myself. I was like, oh, I could try to do a 3-shot thing, and I couldn't really think of anything that concise. Yours was very, very nice. The sound design I thought was really clever. I liked your behind the scenes video where you showed recording with your Rode desktop USB mic into your iPad using the Rode Reporter recording app, which is a cool one. I also use that on my phone sometimes when I'm not using the Leica control app to control my camera here. That's the other nice thing, and the other reason I chose to shoot with my Leica over my Sigma for these is I can control it via the iPhone, so that's handy. You know, it's a rudimentary control app. You basically got real basic settings and then record, start, stop. But hit record, it records. You know, it triggers the Atomos. Everything works fine. It works like it should. So that's cool. I like that. Here's to technology. When it works, oh boy. When it doesn't, Lord. Ah, man. Anyway, what I have been doing is what I always do. Buy too many movies, which we just got some. From Hamilton book. I'll turn it this way so don't need to be broadcasting my address out there, but Hamilton book. We're going to do an unboxing. Yay! Got a nice little pulled tab. Speaking of unboxing, I do have a box over there where I've got all the stuff I'm going to send you, including a bunch of movies. Because as I buy more movies, I thin out my movies because behind the camera there, which you can't see, is my movie shelf. And I've only got a finite amount of space, and so you got to do the most important thing about a physical collection of any kind is curation. Get more stuff in, take some stuff out. You know, only keep the best stuff. Which is not to say I'm sending you the crappy stuff, but the crappy stuff goes to Half Price Books, and then the pretty good stuff goes to you, and then I keep the really good stuff. There we go. I like their packaging. You just kind of tear it into halves like this and then take it off. So anyway, here's my latest. I kept telling myself, oh, I've already, bought as much movies as I'm going to for a minute. I gotta stop and watch the movies that I have. Because I went a bit nuts in December and bought a ton of physical media. But you see some deals and you just want to go for it. So I did. Go for it. So, first up, Tobe Hooper's. I don't know how we can see this pretty well. Yeah, you can see that pretty good. Looking at my phone there. Yeah, so Tobe Hooper's Funhouse on 4K HDR. Does it have Dolby Vision? No, it's a 4K HDR and a Blu-ray. And new 4K scan from the original camera negative. Audio commentary with Tobe Hooper, moderated by filmmaker Tim Sullivan, and theatrical trailer. And then disc 2 on the Blu-ray has a bunch of cool stuff. Oh yes, Dolby Vision. God, I love Dolby Vision. So, Funhouse. It's a weird little movie. I wouldn't say it's Tobe Hooper's best film. We all know what that is. Come on. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Part 2. That's right. But, it's cute. It's got, Elizabeth, Berridge? Berridge? I'm not sure. This cute little gal that plays, Mozart's wife in Amadeus. She's in this, so it's cute. Love it. Then we've got Sean Connery in Outland. It's outlandish. No, Outland is a cool little sci-fi. This one's from Arrow. I forgot to say this one is from Shout Factory. So we got Arrow, 4K HDR of Sean Connery's Outland, which I believe was from the 1980s. Doesn't say. But this one is in Dolby Vision as well. Oh my goodness. Love it. Dolby Vision. A chillingly prophetic depiction of corporate greed and exploitation with muscular direction from Hyams? I don't know. And stellar performance from Connery. Outland arrives on 4K UHD in a brand new restoration that is out of this world. Gotta love that exuberant copy. But yeah, it's got a bunch of extra features and stuff. Good times. Basically, it's classic Western tropes of off-world and into the future in sci-fi thriller Outland starring Sean Connery as a federal marshal assigned to keep the peace on a distant moon. I think I've seen this. I'm sitting here buying a bunch of crap I've never seen. No, I'm pretty sure I've seen this. I've at least seen enough bits of it, little stills from it, or clips of it, that I know that this is kind of the vibe I'm going for. Like I said, I think this might have come out in the 80s, actually, early 80s, but it's got that 70s vibe, like the original Alien. Kind of, working class people in space doing stuff and space stuff. And then this last one is Little Darlings, which I haven't seen. This is a blind buy, but it comes highly recommended from cool YouTubers. Shout out to Celeste de la Cabra on YouTube. Very highly recommended, and it was on Hamilton Book at a good price, so I thought, what the heck, should try it. But is there Dolby Vision? Technical specs: new 4K restoration of the original camera negative, presented in HDR and 4K in the UHD disc. So probably not. Like I said, if it's good, I keep it. If not, it gets passed on to Half Price Books, and I don't feel too bad about that setup. So back to film stuff. This is film stuff. I mean, this is studying, right? It's like doing your homework. I love these kind of properly scanned and graded and presented on 4K disc can just be stunning. Again, the Tobe Hooper Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. I need to get Texas Chainsaw 1 on 4K someday, but there's like different versions of it there are on home video. So I got to do some research and figure out what the good one is. I've got a decent Blu-ray of it in the collection over there, so I get the best possible quality of films I really love on disc until a better one comes out. There's still going to be a film of me before the end of the month. Pretty sure. I'll definitely get it out. And hopefully this wasn't too rambly and incoherent. Hope you have a great, because even though Friday is my Monday day job, which is actually a night job, I'll see you next.